What if someone told you that the smartest, most powerful men aren't the loudest in the room, but the quietest? That's the idea behind the Sigma male. On the internet, he's portrayed as a lone wolf, a mysterious genius who doesn't need anyone and always wins by staying out of the spotlight. He's not the alpha, not the beta, he's something better. But is that really true? The Sigma male is often described as a man who walks his own path, ignores social rules, and somehow still gets results. He doesn't chase attention, doesn't need approval, and supposedly sees through the noise of society. Sounds like a genius, right? But here's the twist. What if this whole idea isn't as smart as it seems? In this video, we're going to look deeper into the Sigma male myth. We'll break down 6 key reasons why this internet label might actually be misleading, overrated, or even harmful. Some of these reasons are backed by psychology, others come straight from the real world, and a few will probably surprise you. We're not here to hate on quiet confidence or independence. Those are powerful traits. But calling someone a genius just because they avoid the crowd, that deserves a second look. So let's unpack the hype, the flaws, and the truth behind the Sigma label, and ask once and for all, is the Sigma male really a genius, or just a fantasy? Origin of the Sigma male concept. The Sigma male idea didn't come from a psychology book or scientific research. It came from the internet. Back in the early 2010s, the alpha-beta male hierarchy started spreading through blogs and social media. It was a simple idea. Alphas are leaders, betas are followers. Then, somewhere along the way, a new character showed up, the Sigma. Supposedly, he's outside the system. Not a follower, not a leader, just doing his own thing and still winning at life. This concept caught on fast. Why? Because it gave certain men a way to feel powerful without fitting into the usual mold. You didn't have to be loud, rich, or dominant to be important. You could just be silent and mysterious. Influencers, YouTubers, and self-help coaches picked up the Sigma male image and ran with it. Suddenly there were TikToks, Instagram posts, and Reddit threads claiming Sigma males were lone geniuses who were just misunderstood. The term really exploded thanks to meme culture. Picture a guy with a hoodie, earbuds in, walking alone while others laugh at a party. The caption? Sigma male moves in silence. It became a personality shortcut, a vibe, a brand. But here's the problem, it's all surface level. The Sigma male isn't based on studies or serious research. Psychologists don't recognize it as a real personality type. It's more of a meme turned identity, a fantasy built for clicks and clout. And while it may feel cool to identify as a Sigma, it's important to ask, is this a deep truth about personality? Or just another internet trend that looks smart but doesn't hold up under the microscope? Reason 1. Oversimplification of human behavior. One of the biggest problems with the Sigma male concept is that it tries to explain human behavior using a super simple chart. You've probably seen it. Alpha at the top, beta below, then Sigma off to the side like some kind of wild card. But real people aren't that easy to label. Human personality is complex. Scientists who study psychology use tools like the Big 5 personality traits to understand how people think, feel, and act. These traits, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, combine in different ways for every individual. There's no one-size-fits-all, so when someone says, "I'm a Sigma male," it skips over all that nuance and reduces personality to a cartoon. Another issue is how this label ignores change. People grow. They develop new skills, adapt to new environments, and shift their values over time. You might be shy in your teens, confident in your 20s, and collaborative in your 30s. A single label like Sigma doesn't allow space for that growth. It locks people into a fixed identity that may not reflect who they really are, or who they're becoming. Also, the Sigma concept tends to reward emotional distance. Being independent is fine. But when independence turns into avoidance, detachment, or lack of empathy, it becomes a weakness, not a strength. True intelligence often includes emotional intelligence, the ability to connect, relate, and understand others. The Sigma idea tends to leave that out completely. In short, the Sigma male label oversimplifies what makes people tick. It tries to fit complex, emotional, growing human beings into a rigid role. That might make for good internet content, but it's not a sign of genius. Real intelligence means understanding yourself and others. It means asking questions, learning from mistakes, and being open to change. That kind of thinking doesn't fit neatly into any label, especially not one built on memes. Reason 2. Repackaged loneliness. The Sigma male is often praised for being a lone wolf. He doesn't hang out with the crowd. He doesn't care what others think. He's too busy doing his own thing. That might sound powerful on the surface, but dig a little deeper, and it starts to look like something else. Loneliness in disguise. Not all introverts are lonely, but the Sigma male image often celebrates being completely cut off. He walks alone, eats alone, works alone, and lives life on his own terms. It sounds cool until you realize that humans are social creatures. Even the most introverted people still need connection, just in smaller doses. Some people claim that choosing to be alone is a sign of strength, but sometimes it's the opposite. Avoiding others, shutting people out, or refusing to open up can be a defense mechanism. It's how some people protect themselves from rejection or failure. When you label that as Sigma genius, you risk encouraging behavior that might come from fear, not confidence. Loneliness also affects mental health. Studies show that chronic isolation can increase the risk of depression, anxiety, and even physical health problems. Genius doesn't grow well in isolation. Most great minds throughout history had mentors, partners, or communities that supported their work. Even someone like Albert Einstein relied on peer feedback and collaboration. So when the internet glamorizes the silent solo lifestyle of a Sigma male, it can be misleading. It turns something sad, being cut off from others, into something that looks like power. But the truth is, true strength includes building relationships, showing vulnerability, and knowing when to ask for help. Being alone sometimes is healthy, but pretending that constant isolation is some kind of genius strategy, that's just loneliness in a suit. Reason 3. Antisocial traits are misunderstood. The Sigma male is often shown as someone who doesn't care what others think, avoids social groups, and rejects mainstream society. On the surface, that can seem cool, like he's above it all, but in reality, those antisocial traits can be misunderstood and even harmful. Let's be clear, not needing constant attention is a good thing. Independence and confidence are powerful qualities. But when someone starts to push others away completely, avoids all group interaction, and acts like they're too good for everyone, that's not always intelligence. Sometimes it's a red flag. Psychologists have studied behaviors like emotional detachment, low empathy, and refusal to follow social norms. These aren't signs of genius. In some cases, they're linked to personality disorders like narcissism or avoidant personality. Of course, not every so-called Sigma male has a disorder, but the traits that get celebrated in these videos or posts often overlap with unhealthy behavior. Real geniuses, more often than not, work with others. They might be introverted or quiet, but they know how to communicate, share ideas, and grow through feedback. Think about it. If someone has a breakthrough idea but never shares it, never builds a team, and never lets anyone challenge it, is it really genius? Or is it just a guy alone with a bunch of untested thoughts? Also, rejecting all social structures doesn't make you smart. It might just make you disconnected. True intelligence often means knowing which rules to challenge and which ones to work within. It's not about being against everything. It's about understanding why things work the way they do. In short, acting antisocial doesn't make someone mysterious or wise. Sometimes it's just a cover for insecurity or lack of social skills. And while it might look powerful online, it's not the kind of trait that leads to growth, connection, or real success. Reason 4. Lack of evidence in real-world success. Let's talk about results. If Sigma males are supposed to be these high IQ, deep-thinking masterminds, where's the proof? There's a lot of talk online about Sigma males being more successful than alphas because they don't waste time on power games. They move in silence, build empires, and stay out of the spotlight. It sounds great, but there's no actual data to back that up. Look at history, science, business, or the arts. Most successful people, regardless of personality, rely on a mix of skills. They network. They pitch ideas. They work with teams. They put themselves out there. Even the quiet geniuses often had someone helping them or pushing them forward. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Einstein had a circle of physicist friends. Beyoncé has producers, dancers, and a massive support team. Genius doesn't happen in a vacuum. Now think about the Sigma male image. Alone, silent, keeping everything to himself. That might work for a dramatic movie character. But in real life, staying silent often means missing out on chances to grow, connect, or share ideas. Another point. Many people who call themselves Sigma males aren't actually doing anything that proves genius. They're just identifying with a vibe, watching motivational videos, rejecting social norms, and staying quiet doesn't mean you're smarter than everyone else. It means you're following a trend. There's nothing wrong with being quiet or independent, but genius shows itself through action, through inventions, discoveries, creativity, and change. And so far, there's no clear sign that Sigma males, as a group, are leading the way in those areas. In short, the Sigma male label sounds impressive, but when it comes to real-world results, there's not much to show for it. Reason 5. Promotes toxic individualism. The Sigma male idea often pushes a message that being alone, doing everything your own way, and rejecting society is the ultimate path to success. While independence is a good thing taken too far, it can promote something more dangerous: toxic individualism. Toxic individualism is the belief that needing others is weak, that asking for help is failure, and that you can only trust yourself. It tells people to cut off relationships, ignore teamwork, and always put themselves first. Over time, this mindset doesn't build geniuses, it builds walls. One of the key signs of real intelligence is knowing how to work with others. Smart people understand the value of learning from different perspectives. They build relationships that help them grow. But if you follow the Sigma male mindset too strictly, you might start believing that any kind of dependence is a flaw, and that's a problem. This can also hurt your emotional development. Humans are wired for connection. When someone constantly pushes others away or refuses to open up, they risk losing important bonds. Over time, that isolation can make life feel empty, even if they're winning in other areas. The Sigma male label often rewards coldness, detachment, and an I don't care attitude. But genius is rarely born from apathy. It comes from passion, curiosity, and even compassion. Some of the world's brightest minds were driven by a desire to help others, understand the world, or solve problems for people, not just themselves. Being independent doesn't mean being disconnected, and choosing your own path doesn't mean walking it completely alone. So while the Sigma male message may sound powerful at first, it often leads people toward a lonely, rigid, and disconnected life. That's not strength, and it's definitely not genius. Reason 6. It's mostly marketing, not psychology. At the end of the day, the Sigma male concept isn't grounded in science. It's built on marketing. Scroll through social media or YouTube, and you'll find tons of videos, courses, and books promising to unlock your inner Sigma male. They tell you how to become more powerful, more mysterious, more attractive. But none of this comes from real psychology. It's content designed to get clicks, sell products, and go viral. The term Sigma male doesn't appear in any respected psychology textbook. It wasn't developed by researchers. It came from blogs and online forums where it grew into a viral trend. It's a personality brand, not a real personality type. And that's the thing, it's designed to feel exclusive. The Sigma male isn't like the alpha or beta. He's different, unique, special. That makes the label feel valuable even if there's no science behind it. It becomes something people want to be just to stand out. That's not a bad marketing move, but it's not truth either. Labels like these are easy to sell because they give people a shortcut to identity. But real self-discovery takes more than a label. And real intelligence isn't something you unlock by watching motivational TikToks or changing your body language. So the next time you see someone promoting Sigma male content, ask yourself, are they trying to help you grow or just trying to sell you something? The Sigma male might seem like the perfect mix of mystery, power, and quiet intelligence. But once you look past the memes and hype, a different picture appears. It's not a psychological truth. It's a fantasy built on oversimplified traits, misunderstood behavior, and internet marketing. Yes, it's okay to be introverted. It's okay to think differently or walk your own path. But that doesn't automatically make someone a genius. True intelligence isn't about standing alone. It's about thinking deeply, growing constantly, and sometimes connecting with others to make a real impact. So before you label yourself or anyone else as a Sigma male, take a step back. Ask what really matters, the label or the life you're building. Being yourself, with all your layers, questions, and growth, that's where real genius begins. Forget the box. Forget the badge. Just be real.